Hi, I'm Jessie the Sleepy Koala and welcome. Today I will be going through my March TBR. I didn't do a TBR in February just because so much of what I was reading was exactly what I read in January, but rereading it again. So it skipped last month's TBR, but we are back with a March TBR now because I am finally getting through my Mirror Visitor phase where all I want to do is read the Mirror Visitor books over and over again. Though I did just receive the first one in the mail. It was on backorder on Amazon for so long, and I thought it would take forever to get here, but it turns up right as I finished the last book again. So now I have to read the first one to do a review on the first one as well, so that I can have the complete set of reviews, but I'll get to that eventually. I do want to take a bit of a break, I think, before jumping into that first book, A Winter's Promise, just because I have been in this universe for so long and I am getting a little bit sick of it now. I am at the end of my obsession phase, which didn't last all that long compared to some of them. I've had other obsession phases that have lasted months and months and months, and they just haven't stopped, and I'll just have something in the background while I'm going through other things.
Hello, Editing Jess here. So I was actually thinking about this more, and I think the thing that determines how long my obsession phases go on for is how good and how much fan fiction there is of something, because that really lets you stay immersed in the world for just like as long as you want or really need to. So like I give the example like just after this in my video of my Naruto phase. There is so much Naruto fanfiction out there, so I can stay in that world for as long as I want, and the only thing stopping me is me. Whereas like with Mirror Visitor, there wasn't that much fanfiction, but I also didn't feel the need to read much fanfiction for it. It felt relatively closed off and done to me. So I don't know, I think that's like one of the big factors for me of how long an obsession phase goes on for.
It's like, I remember my Naruto phase. Oh, this is just me ranting now. I remember my Naruto phase. I'm really not fully out of it even now. Like, there'll still be times where I'm like, man, I want to go read some Naruto fanfiction, and I go and do that, and I thoroughly enjoy it. But this obsession with the Mirror Visitor universe has come to a close. So without further ado, I can get back to other books and can do a new March TBR because I'll be reading new books this month. First up is a book that I actually started back in January and then got put on hold because of the Mirror Visitor universe, and that is Legendary, the second book in the Caraval series.
Hello, Editing Jess again. So there's actually been a few changes in my TBR since I recorded this, mainly because I actually finished Legendary in a record time and was really able to sneak it in there at the end of February. So now I'm just going to move straight on to the third book finale instead. The other thing is that I didn't get to finish Children of Time, which I've been listening to on audiobook, and I really thought that I was going to get that done in February. So I've got a little bit of that left, so that can continue through to March, but I will still need to read something else, so I would love any suggestions that people have for audiobooks that I could try.
I got these gorgeous editions for Christmas, and I had wanted to read the second and third book since I read the first one in November last year, I think. My husband got me these. So I started this one in January. I didn't get very far into it, and I'm continuing now. I'm not going to be able to finish it in February, hence why I'm going to keep going with it in March. And once I finish this one, I'm going to go directly on to the third one so I can finish out the trilogy and have the entire series done. The third one, of course, being Finale. And again, this is just such a gorgeous book cover. I love it so much. And I am looking forward to reading both of these and to seeing where the story goes. I do very much enjoy the main character that we have in this book. I liked her a lot from the first one. And I'm very happy to be following in her POV now to see how her story goes, because I did really feel like Scarlett's story was closed out quite a lot in the first book. But I find Donatella to be very funny and I enjoy following her, and we will see all the shenanigans that she gets up to because she really is the wild child of the two sisters. Another book that I have been reading since January that I have kind of slowly been continuing on with is The Witcher, The Last Wish. This is a collection of short stories that are kind of prequels to the actual Witcher novels, and I to be very honest, I am struggling a little bit with them. I'm going through them very, very slowly and have found myself at several points just wanting to put the book down because I'm a bit bored. But I'm not ready quite yet to give up on these short tales and to give up on this book. I do very much enjoy the illustrations that are in this book. I think that they are really, really nice and they add quite a lot. I love when a book has illustrations in it, and it just adds something extra that you get to see along the way, particularly when the illustrations match what's happening in the story at that given time. It's so nice to have that visual representation of what's going on. But I do want to keep going with this. I might end up getting to the end of March and saying, no, I'm done. But I'm not at that point yet. So I'm going to keep going with The Witcher: The Last Wish and see how many of these short stories I can get through in this month. Next up is a book that I got because I thought it was pretty, but also because I wanted to read it, but largely because it was pretty, and that is Jade City. I was lucky to get the entire collection of these in these stunning covers that are just, they're so shiny. Look at how shiny that is. Ooh. And I've heard people absolutely rave about this book and about this entire trilogy and have said so many good things about it. So I want to give it a go and see what I think. I am a little bit nervous just because the whole idea of mafia gang warfare, that's not normally the type of book story that I would go for. It's not the thing that makes me want to pick up a book. So I'm hoping that the setting of this book doesn't turn me off it and that I'm able to get into it. And the way that people talk about this story really makes me think that I'm going to have no trouble getting into this book and really loving it. I will also just continue straight through with this series if I am really into the first book. I'm not going to wait and spread out the other books. I think I'm just going to go straight through. So I imagine that most of this month is going to be me reading the Green Bones Saga books and seeing what else I can fit in kind of around them as well. The other book that I'm really keen on reading at the moment is also in the Asian-inspired fantasy category, and that is The Poppy War. This is one that I'm tempted almost to pick this up before Jade City, simply because I would love to have just a stereotypical traditional war setting fantasy book, and this book would give me that, definitely give me that. But I also really want to read Jade City, so I'm really torn as to whether I read Poppy War or Jade City first. Let me know in the comments if you've read either of these series and which one you think I should go with first, because I'm really struggling to try and figure it out. But I really want to read both series, and I'll definitely be getting the other books in this series as well, so I can continue on and have all three and continue out and finish the series. But it's just a question of which one do I read first, because I know that I'm going to want to read it straight through, and I know that that's going to take up a lot of time this month. These ones are shorter than the Jade City books, so it would probably be quicker to get through this series and then start on the Jade City ones. But also, people say such good things about Jade City that it's just so hard for me to not want to pick that one up next. But one of the books that I want to read this month is The Poppy War and the rest of the trilogy, and to really get into a couple of Asian-inspired fantasies. I'm really looking forward to that. The last book that I think I want to read this month is just a little short one so that I can kind of have something a bit different to try. And that is the first Murderbot book, All Systems Red. I am really excited to read the Murderbot books. I hear great things about them. I really want to meet this anxious little robot who I feel like I will feel a kinship to as an anxious little person. But they are really short, so it's going to be really easy, I think, to slot this in somewhere. And I think it'll be nice to just give me something else that I can read on the in-between that's not going to take up a lot of time. That's it. Those are all the books that I have for the month of March. I will also probably read something on audiobook because I was recently able to get a deal with Audible for 3 months free books, which was really, really nice. I don't know what I will read yet on audiobooks, so if anyone has any good audiobook suggestions that are fantasy or sci-fi, I think I've definitely been on the more sci-fi kick recently on my audiobooks because I'm reading Children of Time, and I specifically wanted a sci-fi book to read, but either or, fantasy or sci-fi. If you have any suggestions of really good audiobooks, please leave them down in the comments so I can check them out, and that would be very, very helpful. That is everything from me today. It has been so good to have you all here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That will make me very, very happy. I will see you next time. Bye!